The headlines. Israel says it's found a tunnel shaft inside Al-Shifa Hospital where it believes Hamas has a command center. The military has taken the BBC inside the hospital.
They say that among the things they've uncovered are more than a dozen Kalashnikovs, grenades, personal protective equipment, some of it with the Hamas military brigade insignia on it.
Israel also says it's recovered the body of one of the hostages kidnapped on October the 7th. Joe Biden says the US does not seek conflict with China despite calling Xi Jinping a dictator. Fears that one of the richest ecosystems on Earth is in crisis, how dams and climate change are harming the mighty Mekong River. And admirable restraint, or the definition of bad writing. The final series of The Crown divides critics.
U.S. President Biden meets with Asia-Pacific leaders, including China's Xi Jinping.
We're going to continue our commitment to diplomacy, to avoid surprises, prevent misunderstanding.
The body of a 65-year-old woman abducted by Hamas has been recovered by Israeli troops near the hospital where Israel says militants have stored weapons. Plus, we'll take you above the volcano in southwest Iceland, which is threatening a nearby town.
The man who attacked the husband of the former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been found guilty of assault and attempted kidnapping. David DePape broke into the couple's house in October last year and hit Paul Pelosi over the head with a hammer, fracturing his skull. U.S. Congressman George Santos has announced he will not run for re-election in 2024 after the House Ethics Committee released a damning report on his conduct. The panel found the congressman blatantly stole from his campaign and exploited every aspect of his House candidacy for his own personal financial profit. There have been scuffles between protesters and police in Madrid as demonstrators denounced a deal between the ruling Socialist Party and Catalan nationalists, which has kept Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez in power. The demonstrators called him criminal and a traitor. If the draft is approved in Parliament, it would provide amnesty for Catalan nationalists behind the failed referendum for independence 6 years ago. To the US, the rapper and music mogul Sean Combs is being sued by an ex-girlfriend for rape and physical abuse. The hip-hop artist, who's also known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, has been accused by the singer Cassie of more than a decade of coercion by physical force and drugs and of raping her in 2018. The papers were filed in a court in New York. A lawyer for Sean Combs says he vehemently denies the allegations, describing the lawsuit as riddled with baseless and outrageous lies. A court in Russia has sentenced an artist to 7 years in prison for an anti-war protest, which involves swapping supermarket price tags for statements about casualties in Ukraine. Sasha Skochilenko was arrested in St. Petersburg in April last year. Today, her supporters could be heard chanting freedom in protest against her sentencing. Australia has joined the hosts India in reaching the final of the Cricket World Cup. The five-time champions edged out South Africa by 3 wickets in Kolkata to make their 8th World Cup final. Australia's Mitchell Starc says he expects Sunday's final at Ahmedabad's 130,000 capacity stadium to be loud and a spectacle of cricket.
To Ukraine now, where the new UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron visited the capital, Kyiv, holding talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Lord Cameron, as he's now known, reiterated the UK's support, promising moral, diplomatic and military help for however long it takes. For the first time since the start of the war in Ukraine, Russia has also admitted that some Ukrainian forces have crossed onto the Russian-occupied eastern bank of the Dnipro River. They've managed to gain a foothold in a village around 30 kilometers from Kherson.